Wanted to make a video about how my life became the way it is with my thoughts and intentions, and how I manifested things without even entirely knowing it, because those were just the intentions I had, but because it's not what I want it in a positive way, the universe doesn't work that way. It gives you what you need, not entirely what you want. And then the work that you put in then comes out with your thoughts of positivity and lessons that you learn from it, so that way you can then either go through the same shit that you always do, or you can learn from it and become a better person, become a higher person than you already were, and become at your highest self. So that way you can hopefully be a part of the collective and help other people through their experiences. So one of the things that happened to me is just like my workplaces, my work settings. So I was just so hell-bent on making money, I'm an automotive painter, and one of the things for me was just getting into the shops and making as much money as I can. And I did that. I got where I wanted to, but I thought the happy life that I was going to get out of it did not come, because my intentions were not pure of heart. It was all for self-satisfaction, let's say. And I didn't realize that. And I brought many different personalities that I realized were myself, really. I had a narcissistic boss. I'm not saying I'm narcissistic, but I had traits where I was just so angry about life and everything that was going on with me that's the kind of energy that I brought to me. Is just somebody kind of narcissistic. And then I moved to another place that was as well narcissistic, but he was a lot more lenient. So I had a lenient narcissistic boss at that time. And you know, I I just didn't realize it. I wasn't happy, and I moved around for a little bit, and I got to this other shop, and that's where I started really, really meditating. And one of the biggest quotes that really helped me get through a lot of it is, other people's opinions is none of my business. And in the place that I worked at, we were supposed to work as a team. It was called a team, but Apple might as well owned it, so they can call it iTeam, because that was not a fucking team. They were a bunch of I's. And that's okay, because the intention was there, but you got to have the right mindset people to work as a team and be a team. And anyways, so all these people would just watch what I'm doing, and I'm like, how are you even getting your stuff done correctly if you're just focused on me and what I'm doing so much? And so I had to really, really put a lot of thought into not worrying what other people think. And for the most part, I'm pretty open about the kind of person that I am, and the things that I do in life. You ask me, one of the things I also say is, you want to know something, just ask me. And or sorry, well, if you want to know how I feel about you, just ask, because I don't need to talk behind your back. And if you think I'm talking behind your back, just come up and ask me what you think, what I think of you, because I'll tell you. Like, I'm not gonna be mean about it, but if you want to know, I'll tell you. And most of the time, people won't ask, because they don't want to know your opinion all the time, because sometimes the truth hurts, and sometimes I don't hold back. I don't hold back with my family and close friends, because you need that. But if you're somebody around there, I'm not gonna be mean. I'll let you know if I don't like you. And the thing is, I don't have to like you. We don't have to like each other. But I do have love for you, and I have love for everybody. And I hope healing and loving energy goes to everyone in the world, and that they find something in themselves to put out positive, and help the other dark side of the world, because without the darkness we would not know what light actually is. Without bad we would not know what good is, etc., etc. Duality. I'm a Gemini, so I'm kind of all about duality. And so yeah, happy Gemini season, everybody. And that's a Gemini. And anyways, so get back to the shop. So I moved positions there, and the two people that I directly worked with kind of was a reflection of me as well. The head painter was just an angry asshole, kind of blamed people for a lot of shit, and I had a lot of moments like that. I didn't do it too much to the public, but I kind of blamed my family for a lot of things from the past and how I grew up and everything like that. And I was just kind of short and snippy a lot whenever things didn't quite go my way. And then on the other half of me, which was the other worker, was a super kind-hearted, works with you, communicates well, and just a really nice, good-hearted guy. And he kind of helped me get by through that side of the shop, because the other side was so angry, which is what I kind of deal with myself. Is just like sometimes I beat myself up, but I need to learn to be nicer to myself and have more compassion for myself and others as well. That's one of the things that I'm learning as a Gemini Sun, Virgo Moon. Mercury rules both of my main signs, and then I got a Leo rising, which, kind of just burning up the world and all that. So, but all fun. And I started learning more about meditation and astrology, and started really connecting with myself and my thoughts. And it's been a long, maybe about 4 or 5 years now, and I really started diving deep about 2 years ago. No, 20, whenever COVID hit, whatever year that was. Everybody shut down, and that was great for me. And I just got to hang out with my family, spend time. I did a lot of shadow work then, and shadow work is so important. Like, if you don't know what it is, you need to figure it out, and let me know. I'll help you out if you want. Let's talk, let's chat. Let me know in the comments what kind of shadow work you went through, and what kind of egos you had to kill off. And just remember as well, with egos, like, you will always have many alter egos, and it's not about killing your egos and ego deaths. It's more about unraveling that ego that is protecting your physical self of all the traumas that you have gone through and built up within yourself, and to come and bring that to the surface and acknowledge that ego and bring loving energy and loving that inner child that was wounded, and just accepting yourself and the situation that you were in at any time, because you're not going to get by. You're just going to be angry and hate the world and hate yourself, and you might think that you hate everyone else, but actually you just hate yourself, because the world is a self-reflection of your vibration. And if you're putting off angry, negative shit and just being an ass, at some point karma will come back to you. Good example, today a car cut me off, and like literally instantly, I used to get pretty pissed off about all of that stuff, and instead this time I was just like, whatever, man, as long as you keep speeding and you don't like brake or slow down. But he cut me off, and he was about to go slow, and then this car cut in front of him, and he had to swerve like really bad, and he had to swerve into oncoming traffic to avoid this car that he was about to hit. And I was like, oh, instant karma, didn't think anything of it. And I was just like, going about my business and my day. But for me, that was a self-reflection of the person that I used to be and how I used to drive. And now I just zoom out and I'm like, all these things going on are just different versions of me, because we're all collective. I am you, you are me, he is she is he, we are we, you know. So we're all one. We're all here to help each other out. And if you don't want to help each other out, you know, that's a big sad thing. But that's okay, because some people gotta learn to do shit on their own. And for me, I do a lot of things on my own. I love being by myself, but I want to build a community and of like-minded people with similar practices and mind thoughts, and to just be at your highest self, to love yourself, to love life. Not in the materialistic sense, but in the sense of like this. Just being out here, enjoying life, getting out in nature, getting out of your own head, really, and being with the present, because being with the present means that you understand that everything is okay and everything will be okay, because if you're not doing anything but sitting with your present, then really you have no stress. Really, you have nothing else going on besides what you're doing, sitting there, being aware of your breath, however that may be. And yeah, I went through a big awakening during COVID time, and dove deep into crystals and star seeds and a lot of metaphysical, cosmic, so much stuff. What really helped me a lot, though, was astrology. Not just your mainstream astrology, but actually getting your birth charts, astrology chart with your date, time, exact time you were born, exact city. That really helps, and you can tune in to actually the type of personalities, and it can actually kind of help you with how you're supposed to go about in life. It's not supposed to tell you exactly what to do. It gives you a guideline of what's going on. So like when looking at mine, I have a Gemini sun with a Virgo moon being ruled in Mercury gives me a lot of lack of compassion, but I'm great at communicating, analytics, and kind of filling in the blanks sometimes when other people can't. And that's okay. You know, we all have our strengths and weaknesses, but we want to come together and build a community for a lot of people to come together and just chit chat about things that not everybody talks about. Back to my story about work. So when I moved during COVID, that actually brought me to, I am on my fourth manager now, and I am now the senior of the shop, and I've only been there for about 2.5 years now, maybe 3. And so my first manager was all about making money, and when I got there, that's all I was about, was making money. And things started becoming really unorganized, and I was like, man, this is getting a little out of hand. So I got a new manager, and I actually knew him. He was a pretty cool dude, and I wanted somebody that was more understanding and organized, with the capability of still making as much as I did. And so I brought that, and he started becoming way too stressed. Things were going on. There was a lot of shop drama going on, and so I brought the next manager, manifested the next one, and that one brought me a lot. He helped me a lot because I was having a lot of mental issues going on, going to therapy and everything like that, breaking down my walls and such. And he was very understanding. I still got my work done, but he was very understanding of my schedule and how I needed to leave work and take time and space for myself Um, and he was having relationship problems, and to be honest, at that time I was having a lot too. But what that helped me was to see how he was acting and how he was reacting, to understand that I didn't want to go through similar situations, because I had similar mind thoughts, similar thoughts that he did. And then I was like, he's having a lot of problems, and so am I. And maybe if I just do something different and start changing that, things will get better. And so I did. But he started just not giving a fuck about anything with work. And I'm not gonna lie, when I had that part of my spiritual awakening, I was struggling with work, because I was just like, I don't want to fucking be here. I don't want to be here. I don't want anything to do with this place. This place is like killing me inside, and all this shit, blah blah blah. And so that's the type of manager that I had. And I didn't realize the amount of manifesting power that I had, and the influence of my vibration in the shop. And once I started building myself up, he then found courage to quit, because he's a really good person, but he had a lot of trouble standing up for himself. And that was something that I had trouble for a long time. Like, I will say something to people, but there are certain things that I just don't feel like I want to say, because I didn't want to cause trouble. But now I've passed that, and I've learned how to maturely and respectfully talk to people, instead of just kind of lashing out and being like, fuck this, fuck that. Now I'm like, okay, well, I don't think it's gonna work that way. This is how I'm gonna work, and if you're able to work with me, then we can come to an agreement. If not, we're gonna have to figure something out. Instead, back then I was just kind of like, I meant all that stuff, but it was more like, fuck you, fuck that. I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that. And it's more me. And so he quit, and now I have another manager. And because he had quit, things were getting so unorganized, and my mindset was, I want to start having a manager that is more organized and can do a good job, where I can still work the way that I do and make the money that I do. And it was a little rocky for a couple months. He had a lot to work through, and that's okay, and so did I. And now it's more organized. It's letting me understand more of how businesses are better run. I always knew it was about management, but now I've gone through all the different stages of different managers, and this one seems to actually be a very caring person, and he actually is a spiritual person. And we got on the talk of interdimensional beings the other day, and energies, and full moon, and it was awesome, because I'm into that, and I didn't think I would ever really have a person in an automotive shop that I could talk about all this stuff. And I did. I brought him to me, and he's a pretty cool dude. Kind of anal, but that's okay, because I can be anal too. So that's probably my Virgo moon side that helped manifest him into my life. And this is just one of the stories that I'm talking about with manifesting, and how you don't realize sometimes the influence of your mind and what you're putting out there into the universe is going to come back to you the way you put it out there, not the way that you want. Because I've wanted all this stuff, but I never wanted it in a loving way until here recently, within the last 8 to 10 months maybe. And that's kind of what happened. Things started shifting insanely for me, and I just want to share my journey, and and help raise the consciousness of this earth while I'm in this spiritual meat popsicle suit. So that way we can all just sing, dance, laugh, love, and be merry. And I hope somebody out there got something from this. And I'm gonna make a lot more content. It's my second video, so I'm a little scattered. Bear with me on that. I do have a lot of good stuff coming. I believe in myself in that sense. I hope you believe in me too. I believe in you. Whatever you may do, I believe in you. And this is me getting in a vibe with my inner vibe. And I hope that you can get in a vibe with your inner vibe. Yeah. So follow me for more and leave some comments, questions, if there's certain content that you might want to hear about. I love to meditate. I like to go out in nature, and I do sexual kung fu and semen retention. If you want content about that, I am in the process of Reiki certification. I love meditating all about chakras and just becoming your highest self. So many things. I just like talking a lot. That's a Gemini inside of me. So, I love talking. So if you want something specific for me to touch base on or share my journey about, let me know. I love you.